Alright, so let's print this bad boy off. To print the cave, we're going to go up to File, and we could do Print Cave, but what I like to do is go into, let's see, is it Print Options? I think it's Preview Print. Let's do this and see what happens. Okay, here we go. So the Print Preview. The reason why this is important because we want to see how this thing is actually going to be printed off, what's going to be included in the print, what's the scale, is this looking all right? And right now, it's not looking good. Because let's say I sketch this at 1 inch equals 20 feet. Well, this is definitely not going to line up with my survey notes if I'm going to trace over this. So I'm going to close this and let's set our scale. So I'm going to go to Action, Scale, Magnification, Rotation. Let's change this to 1 inch equals 20 feet and we'll hit OK. So now let's go to File and Preview Print. Well, now I've got a problem. It's not fitting on the page. And also I've got these bars, this border showing up and the legend. Do I really want that? And then the other problem too is I probably want to print my survey stations, so I need to turn those on. So let's close this. Let's go to View Display. There we go. And I want to show, let's see, crud, where are those? I'll just do it this way. Our station labels. Okay, that's looking better. If I want, I can turn on walls, I can change the color, I can do whatever I want here to get it how I want it printed off. So now let's go to File, Preview Print, and at this point now we'll play with turning on and off some of these, like the border and the legend, if we want that or if we don't want it, we can decide. So let's, sometimes what I like to do is leave the legend because then I can line up this arrow more or less with where north is. When I do my final map, it's nice to have it on there. But maybe it's good just to put it on one page, not on every page. So let's take a look at some of these features. So this is our printer setup and our print options. Let's look at our print options. So the button there. And show legend, well, I can turn that on or off if I want to. I can print the background color if I want to. I don't want to. Let's make it no border. And let's see, if I had a large sheet, I could do that. Settings here. Overlap is, let's say I'm going to print off, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to tile pages. If you want to print them off and then tape them together, if you want there to be a little bit of overlap, then I might add the how much overlap I want in millimeters right here. So I can adjust that. I can change the width of the border and the line plot width. I'll just leave that as is. And tie in, we'll leave that. Okay, so I'm going to leave the legend on, and I'm going to draw the border, or not draw the border. So hit OK. Notice the border went away. The legend's still there. And now the next thing I'm going to do, there's this columns and rows. So watch what happens if I add a couple of columns and I add a couple of rows. And my cave is still way off the grid over here, so let's move it. I've got the same navigation tools that I had before. Problem though, I've got it set at 1. So let's close this. Let's come back here and set our degree to 45 so we can move it in a little bit bigger increments. Go to File, Preview Print. Let's move this a little more. Okay, move this over. Let's move the cave down. Okay, there we go. Just make sure we can fit this on all the pages. It looks like I'm not fitting it, so I'm going to add another column. So I've got 3. Let's nudge this over. Okay, that's a little better. So now it's showing up on all these pages. Now another thing too, that this is key, whenever I go to print this, I've got a print button. This prints a single page. This prints multiple pages. It's going to print all of the pages that are checked. None of them are checked right now, so let's check them. So I need to click that tiny little box in the upper left hand corner. Make sure they're checked. And one more, there we go. Okay, so once everything looks good and it's ready to go, I've got everything set up the way I want, I simply hit the multiple page print, or if I'm doing just a single page, I'm going to do a small version of the line plot to share with my buddies, then I can do the single page print if it all fits on the single page. And that's pretty much it for printing. Once it's printed out, you can overlay it onto your sketches. If the scales is right, if you did that right, it should line up perfectly. And then you can fine tune and create a really nice sketch, hand-drawn sketch of the cave that you can then scan into the computer and pull into your Illustrator or Inkscape or whatever you decide to use. Or if you decide you can do a full-blown fully hand-drawn map. Once you've done these, overlay it on another big sheet of paper, trace it with a pen and pencil, and you've got a beautiful map. So that's printing. Okay, and we'll do one more tutorial, I think, here. I talk about getting statistics.